Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. Today I'm going to be discussing the Rhad N'akiu Crash fight. I will be doing a voiceover of the Crash co-op. I'm going to be showing you guys 3 different character builds for the co-op Crash. You know, hopefully that can help you guys get through it. I will say this is definitely the easiest Crash that we've had, so if you guys are trying to get that Crash solo clear or that Crash co-op clear, it is probably going to be doable for most of the players in the game, as there are a lot of different options that you have. The solo Crash is still harder, but it only took me about 5 tries to beat it, which for a Crash is not very many tries. So I'm just going to kind of quickly go over my solo team. Since I'm not going to be doing a guide for the solo, I will be uploading a gameplay clear for the solo clear. But today I'm going to be mostly talking about the co-op Crash. Now, this is my team for the solo fight right here. And honestly, Cloud's Bahamut Greatsword absolutely comes in clutch in this fight if you guys can run it. This team right here essentially focuses around Cloud, Rhad 13, and Aerith right here. Aerith, you can run Fairy Tail instead of the Kamura Wand. There are several videos out there. Janelle put out a video where, you know, without using the Kamura, with a full magic team, there's all different kinds of ways in which this can be beat. I think that this is probably the simplest way right here if you can manage to build it, but if you guys can't manage to build a team like this, then there are other ways in which you guys can do it out there. So I'm just going to quickly go over the setup right here. I will say that Rhad 13's Stardust Ray is super important right here, as I'm pretty sure that the Rhad N'akiu cannot be debuffed on physical or magic attack, but this will just basically remove the boss's attack buffs essentially, right? The Silver Collar, super clutch here for the Wind, Water, and Peril. It gives you access to a Cure-All in the 3rd slot. We have the Sleek Collar right here for the Magic Defense All to the team. We have Aerith's Kamura Wand for the Physical Attack up and Magic Defense up, along with the Bahamut Rod or the Fairy Tail, depending on whichever you guys want to use. I use Breath of the Earth because you can get debuffed, and that can cure it at some point in time in the fight. Of course, we're going to be running Leviathan. I liked Cloud's Anniversary costume, but you could also run the Zidane costume. You can also run the Maritime costume. Just depends on what you need. You need to kind of hit a threshold of around 12k or 12.5k HP with 200 plus magic defense on your team. Essentially, this fight will revolve around, or the solo fight revolves around Cloud spamming Fierce Greatsword to take out the adds, and then once the boss is vulnerable, you're essentially just debuffing the boss, dropping all the summons, and doing as much damage as possible with the Maritime Sword. But essentially, yeah, the goal of the fight is to keep the magic defense up. The boss will essentially lower your magic defense periodically throughout the fight, so you got to stay on top of that. Aerith has to make sure that Cloud's attack buff is up, and then with Rhad 13 having access to the Cure-All, and we have a Cure-All from Aerith, essentially it's a lot easier to keep up with the actual healing that needs to be done. Alright, so I'm just going to show you guys a quick run through of this team right here. So this is my Cloud setup, pure DPS output right here. His materias are all focused on physical attack. If we jump over here to Rhad 13, we are going to run one buff debuff extension weapon, preferably one paired with HP, so I'm running the Syringe Rapier right here. Then we're going to run one physical attack all weapon, right? So the best one that you guys have, and then we're going to run one magic defense all weapon as well. And for Rhad 13, I'm essentially slotting all magic defense up stat sticks right here for the materia. Alright, and then last but not least, we have Aerith right here. She's going to be running the Centipede for a little bit of heal buff debuff extension, one physical attack all weapon, and one magic defense all weapon. So pretty simple setup. I know that there's a lot of limited gear here, but there are other options out there. Like I said, tons of other players with different clear guides. I'm just putting together, you know, which was the easiest way for me to take down the solo Crash. Alright, so that being said, guys, we're going to go back here and we're going to take a look at the actual co-op Crash fight. I'm going to show you guys 3 different character builds that you can put together. You're essentially looking for 2 carries where both players are playing Cloud with the Greatsword. I'm going to show you guys here a clear of that. Probably like it was my first time clearing the co-op. I cleared the solo first, and we cleared it in like less than 30 seconds. So it's pretty crazy. All right, so by the way, thank you Jro and thank you Gwen for helping out in the co-op crash. Alright guys, so here is the first setup that you guys can put together. Now I have the Bahamut Rod here, but you can exchange that with Fairy Tail if you don't have it. Alright, and essentially what you guys are building for is around 12.5k HP and, you know, close to 200 magic defense if you guys can manage it. So I'm just running her Bahamut costume right here. We have Breath of the Earth, Camarada Wand in the main hand, Bahamut Rod or Fairy Tail in the offhand. You know, all of the stat sticks on magic are basically healing and magic defense. And then the sub-weapons are going to be Centipede, 1 physical attack all weapon, and 1 magic defense all weapon. So fairly simple there for the build here, guys. And you guys are going to see a recurring theme as I show you the different builds for characters. So now we're going to go over to Rhad 13. So if you can't play Aerith, you can also play Rhad 13. We're going to be building him more or less the same way. So whichever costume you can basically put together. I don't think any of them are absolutely necessary. Stardust Ray is, however, pretty much absolutely necessary, even though in our co-op clear we didn't even get to the point in time where he would drop it. Silver Collar right here, main hand, Sleek Collar offhand, magic defense slash healing stat stick materias, and then we have 1 physical attack all weapon, 1 HP slash buff debuff extension weapon, and 1 magic defense all weapon, right? So very similar on the sub weapons for actually all 3 characters. And now guys, if you can't run Rhad 13 and you can't run Aerith, here is a version of Matt that you guys could run as well. You are shooting for above 12k HP. Matt's a little bit harder to hit the HP threshold, so I had to give him 2 like HP focused materia and then 1 magic defense focused materia. But essentially you're going to be running Centipede in the main hand, we're going to be running Core Defender in the offhand, we have a healing all in the cure all right here, but it's not really necessary because we have the Centipede right there. However, his Vanquishing X is necessary if, you know, if the carries that are taking you on the co-op crash are not ultra strong, then you're probably going to get to the point where you're going to need to debuff the boss's physical magic attack, so make sure you put this limit break on. Now for the sub weapons, exactly the same as before guys, we have 1 physical attack all weapon, 1 HP slash buff debuff extension weapon, and 1 magic defense all weapon. So I think most people should be able to put something like this together, but yeah, that's essentially going to tie up 3 different character builds that you guys can use for taking on this Crash co-op. So that being said, let's get into the actual battle itself. Alright guys, so as you guys can see, this is the team setup going into the Crash co-op. Preferably and ideally you have 2 strong clouds accompanying either Aerith, Rhad 13, or Matt, given the exact setup that I just showed you guys. Just put together the best that you can. Honestly, with strong enough whales beside you or strong enough players, it's going to be pretty easy to take this down, as you guys can see. But here's a front end view of the team itself. That being said, let's get into the actual battle. Alright guys, so here we are going into the actual Crash co-op fight. I'm going to show you guys how freaking insanely fast we took this down. So honestly, with a lot of characters this can be done. So right off the bat, Aerith is just going to be focusing on raising the magic defense of the team, right? So we're going to raise the magic defense, raise the physical attack of the entire team. The boss is going to use Dreadful Grudge, which I'm not sure, yeah, it is an attack that can lower the magic defense of whoever it's targeting, so we're going to counter that, and I believe he's going to use it one more time. Alright, so I'm going to use Spiritual Harmony to counter that again. Alright, and as you can see, we've basically just destroyed both of the hands right there. Alright, we are going to take the first Tempest of Rancor. Alright, there we go. Very good. After that, we're just going to heal. Okay, the boss is going to become vulnerable, and the DPS are just going to be doing their thing. At this point in time, I'm just making sure that magic defense is stacked and healing is done back up to full for all of the characters here. Alright, and you can see they're just going to be eating this boss alive right here, guys. Insane how fast this thing is going down. As you can see, the magic defense buff is wearing off. I was able to just replenish it. It was a tad early on the cast because it's going to end up wearing off anyway right here. I'm just going to recast it after it wears off. Alright, there we go. And it looks like we got like a double vulnerability in a row right there. I'm not quite sure how that happened, so if you guys know the answer to that, please let me know in the comments below. But essentially here, just doing what I can, healing, spiritual harmony. Essentially for all three characters, you're just going back and forth between magic defense up and healing. And we're like not even, what, 45 seconds into the battle right here. And there is the Crash fight. Done and done. Simple as that, guys. And so we have a Crash co-op clear channel in our Discord. If you guys are looking to get cleared on this, check out the Curseborn Discord. There is a link in the description of all our videos. You know, if you just jump in the Crash co-op channel and ask for a clear, you know, more or less someone is going to be able to help you guys with that. So I hope that you guys do get your clear. I hope that this video was helpful. You know, I am going to be putting out a solo gameplay clear for the Crash. You know what I normally do is I just write in the description my details for the fight since I'm not actually voiceovering it. But, you know, just feel free to leave me a comment. I'm happy to answer your guys' questions as much as possible. That being said, another thank you to Jro and Gwen for accompanying me on this Crash co-op. Thank you guys very much. That being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis content. I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.